What happens when a tiger comes close to a militant base in India? Instead of hurting the tiger, they follow it into the jungle and find something amazing. The story begins with Commander Benjamin, newly assigned to a military base in India near several borders. His job was to organize patrols, stop illegal crossings, and keep a close watch on the borders. One morning, soldiers spotted something unusual: a tiger near the base entrance. It stayed there, pacing around, almost like it wanted attention. At first, Commander Benjamin thought wildlife wasn't his concern, but what if it was a trick meant to harm his troops? To be sure, he consulted security. They checked thoroughly and found no danger. Aware of high-tech tricks like spy robots, Benjamin had experts scan the tiger. The result? Just a normal tiger. Despite this, Benjamin let it be, hoping it would leave on its own. He ordered his soldiers not to harm it, reminding them to respect nature's space. One evening, the soldiers on duty were startled by the tiger's echoing roars. They assumed the tiger was hungry, but feeding it wasn't an option. Regular feeding might encourage it to return often, disrupting their operations. Little did they know, their assumptions were about to be challenged. By the next morning, the surveillance system spotted movement near the base. Disappointingly, it was the same tiger. Commander Benjamin, puzzled by its persistence, suspected there was more to its visits than meets the eye. Climbing the watchtower for a closer look, he observed the tiger through binoculars and sensed its distress. Determined to unravel the mystery, Benjamin called for volunteers to join him on an exploratory mission. 7 brave soldiers stepped forward. Their plan was to cautiously approach the tiger on foot while keeping a safe distance, armed with a tranquilizer gun just in case. As they ventured out, the tiger began to stealthily lead them toward the forest, occasionally glancing back to ensure they were following. With a nod, Benjamin signaled for the group to proceed. But before we go into more depth, don't forget to subscribe to The Wildlife Stories. We are aiming for 1,000 plus likes on this video, so be sure to like it. Let's continue the story. Each step was laden with anticipation and excitement as the tiger guided them deeper into the wild. Benjamin and his team navigated tough terrains for hours. Benjamin trusted the tiger had a purpose. Approaching another country's border, Benjamin worried about crossing illegally. He hoped the tiger would hurry as the team was tiring. Suddenly, the tiger growled softly, signaling they were near. Benjamin, at the front, knelt and signaled the team to halt. But before they could take any action, they found 2 severely wounded cubs lying barely alive in front of them. It was clear the tiger was a mother desperately trying to save her babies. Seeing this deeply moved Benjamin. On closer inspection, he noticed the cubs had wounds similar to those caused by shrapnel. Suspecting danger, Benjamin directed 2 team members to check a nearby shallow pit. The scouts confirmed his fears. The area was littered with landmines, and the pit was the result of an explosion. Benjamin felt heartbroken knowing the cubs were hurt because of human conflict. He knew he had to act quickly to save the young tigers. Retrieving his satellite phone, Benjamin urgently called for backup and an extra vehicle. He needed to safely transport Nairobi, the tigress, and her cubs back to the military base. He clearly described their location and stressed the importance of avoiding mined routes. Benjamin's main goal was to get Nairobi and her cubs to a wildlife preservation center for essential medical care. Before long, reinforcements arrived with the right vehicle. Nairobi was sedated to ensure she stayed calm during the ride, but Benjamin made sure the cubs stayed awake. Within an hour, they were back at the base. Nairobi and her cubs were placed in a secure enclosure to keep them calm when they woke up. Benjamin didn't waste any time arranging for their transfer to the Wildlife Conservation Center the next morning. When they arrived at the center, the dedicated staff immediately began treating Nairobi and her cubs. Seeing the injured cubs, with one needing surgery and the other suffering from serious wounds, deeply touched everyone there. The team worked tirelessly, determined to help Nairobi and her cubs recover. Benjamin felt relieved knowing they were in good hands, hoping for their full recovery. After some days, the cubs started to show signs of getting better. One cub began to play and interact with the caregivers, a hopeful sign of healing. The cub that needed surgery went through the procedure and gradually improved. At first, both cubs were supported with intravenous drips, but soon they were fed special milk through bottles. Meanwhile, Nairobi, separated from her cubs during treatment, showed signs of sadness and restlessness. Seeing Nairobi's distress, the caregivers planned a reunion. They allowed the cubs to nurse directly from Nairobi, creating a heartwarming moment that visibly lifted her spirits. Nairobi responded with gentle licks, showing her strong bond with her cubs despite all the challenges. As the cubs continued to regain their strength, plans were made for their eventual return to the wild. Benjamin felt deeply fulfilled, knowing he had helped ensure their survival. However, the thought of the remaining landmines in the area weighed heavily on his mind. These remnants of past conflicts were a danger not only to the wildlife, but also to people in the region. With determination, Benjamin started efforts to clear the mines. He worked with higher authorities and organized a thorough operation to remove the mines. In just 5 days, all known mines were safely removed, making the jungle safer for both wildlife and humans. Finally, it was time for Nairobi and her cubs to go back to their natural home. Benjamin watched with satisfaction as they disappeared into the dense jungle, symbolizing hope and resilience in the face of challenges. However, the next day brought a heartwarming surprise. Nairobi returned to the base with her cubs, as if to say thank you for the care they received. Moved by this gesture, Benjamin asked his soldiers to observe a moment of silence, honoring the special bond formed between man and animal. Afterward, Nairobi and her cubs left the base, marking the end of their direct interaction. Yet, Nairobi's memory remained vivid in Benjamin's heart. He reflected on their journey and felt comfort knowing he had not only protected his country, but also helped in wildlife preservation. Nairobi and her cubs no longer visiting the base didn't mean their impact was forgotten. Their story became a testament to the importance of compassion and conservation. Benjamin's experience with Nairobi left a lasting mark, reminding him of the deep connection between humans and the natural world. It was a connection worth defending at all costs. This experience inspired Benjamin to advocate for wildlife conservation more passionately. He shared his story with others, encouraging them to see the value in protecting wildlife. And so, what are your thoughts about this heart-touching story? Share your opinions in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on our new animal stories. Your support means the world to us.